Recording in progress. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Dad Bods. Dad Boss. Hey, what's wrong with this picture here? What's wrong with this picture here? Shane, tell me.
There's only two handsome people here.
Oh, I know. So the third handsome person, he's don't know if it's legit or not because I think he found a picture of a dentist on Google and sent it through to us. But he
Yeah.
claims to have like a toothache for the last 48 hours and he's there getting his tooth fixed. Or he's home now, but can't talk,
You
you
know,
know?
you know what it really is, mate? Like it's like 28 degrees. It's the second hot day since winter. The beach is only a 45-minute drive from home. We know where Eric is. He's not here.
That's it. That's it, you know. He's moved over here from Germany so we can join our coastline. Let's be honest, right? So it's just the two of us, guys. I'm Q, one of your co-hosts. As we said, Eric is, just resting up, making sure his jaw's fixed. Jaw, not
Jaw.
tooth. And then we have as well Mr. Splendid Fairy Wren. How are you, Mr. Splendid Fairy Wren?
Mate, I am splendid. That's how I am. I am splendid. I looked up a list of all these bird names. Like, I'm surprised how many different species of birds there are out there, mate.
Oh, mate, birds are a descendant of the dinosaurs, mate. You know, you're
Right.
you're you're ancient.
You're old. That's what you're really saying, eh?
Oh, I love it, love it. And hey, guys, we're having a joke now, but hey, just wanted to, just let you know, for those who were, have been exposed to the news in the last couple of days, and let's be honest, you probably already know of this because it has been over everything, and whether you go deep into it or not, the biggest news in the last couple of days is Charlie Kirk was, assassinated. And for those people who don't know Charlie Kirk, he was a prominent person in the political space in America, um, who had a line of beliefs and perspectives that perhaps you know rub some people the wrong way, and he was shot dead as he was out at visiting a university, having open discussion, open debates. And so, what we're going to talk about today is kind of like we're going to have a conversation around how do we say this? Like, this guy essentially got shot. He got murdered for stating his opinion and his beliefs, and that kind of like people disagreed with, right? And so this is kind of like the world we live in. A man is killed for his opinion, all right? And the internet has definitely played a role in this, but as a result, right? And this has been growing over for the last couple of years. Like, the negative experiences that people are having online is growing exponentially every day, and that whether that's hate speech or negative comments, it just feels like there is a massive cultural rot, in the digital space. And now, like, it's kind of like spilling over into the real world. Yeah. But one thing I want to kind of like touch base on, Shane, is like, how do we kind of like perhaps start by just explaining what happened to our kids because it is everywhere.
Oh, that's a good question. I think you want to you got to be honest with them. Like, there's no point trying to sugarcoat it. Like, be honest, but in a way that they, that's okay for them to hear it. So definitely be honest with them, and then just talk to them about probably what we're going to talk a bit more about, like what was the thinking behind both parties? Like, what was the thing behind Charlie Kirk being very vocal about his opinions and his beliefs and his the things he stood for, and then what was the thinking behind And well, I mean, we don't know. We don't really know. We don't know either for Charlie what his thinking was, but we don't even know what the thinking was behind the assassin's opinion, but about why someone could potentially get to that point of wanting to make that decision to do that thing, to do that task or to do that thing, and what they were really seeking. Because at the end of the day, they were seeking some sort of outcome for themselves. Well, everything we do is for an outcome. So well, I say he, I guess it's a he at the moment. But they had an opinion that they wanted to be heard. Charlie had an opinion that wanted to be heard. And one person got on the stage and spoke through a microphone, and somebody hid, like a coward, 200, 300, 400 meters away, and tried to have his opinion heard as well, but just did it that way. And that was the only way that he knew.
Yeah, yeah. And I love what you said there, mate. It's wanting to hear, like, get his opinion heard, right? The shooter, right? And so maybe we've lost the art of conversation somewhere along the line, right? Because we always, like, you and I grew up, Shane, and we got told, like, it's okay to disagree with someone, right? And we're allowed to have our own thoughts, but we're not necessarily gonna, like, go up and start a fight or have a punch up, or in this case, like, shoot someone, right?
Mm.
um what is kind of like, I don't know if you like, and the thing is, we were part of a business event on the weekend, and when the host, when Rich mentioned Charlie Kirk, the chat screen kind of like exploded about, nah, he was a douche, nah, he was this, he was that, right? um what's your take on, like, how, like, on that, like, are we losing the art of respectfully disagreeing with someone?
Well, the way that I see it is that somebody has an opinion and they're not open to the possibility of another opinion. So what
Mm,
they're really saying, if it's not my way, then it's wrong.
yeah.
And then that's why some people, and I guess we saw it in the chat there in the Zoom room, but you see it on social media. Like, there's a whole range of different people responding. There's some people that were saying, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever. I can't believe it happened." There's some people that are saying, "I didn't agree with Charlie. However, this should never have happened." And then there are some people saying, "Good job, he deserved it." Right. So you got a whole range of people. But I guess what it really comes down to is, I guess, in a big scheme of things, is a conversation is a conversation. It becomes an argument when two people believe something should be done their way and no other way.
Mm,
That's when the conflict really comes. Instead of in a conversation about just being open to possibilities and open to ideas, which really comes through the lens of curiosity. Oh, cool. Tell me more about that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I've never seen it that way before. Oh, this is the way that I've always seen it. I'd never looked at it that way before. So now you're showing that it's more a collaborative conversation back and forth that can flow, rather than two heads just butting heads. Because as soon as you get two heads butting heads,
yeah.
something's going to break.
That's how all the wars have started, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, when one person or one country or one leader has, is completely enamored with their ideology, and they can't see past it, right? And it has to be their way.
Yeah.
Hence Hitler, right? Or what's happening in Russia, or other parts of the world at the moment, right? Um, so interesting. Like, when you mentioned the word curiosity there, one thing that kind of like came to my mind straight away is, I don't know how I ended up doing this, right? But in my first year of university, I did a unit on philosophy,
Yeah.
right? And I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll do philosophy because I want to, like, learn, like, different ideas and all that kind of stuff. But what philosophy actually taught us was how to how to gauge um, the framework of a philosophy. So, and I can't remember exactly, but this plus this equals this. So even if an idea is incorrect, right, or false, if this plus this equals this, they're gonna believe it, no matter what. And that's exactly what you mentioned there. They're just so firmly in, they can't see any other way, right? They're firmly in the belief that this is their way, right? So with sharing all of that, Shane, like, how can we how can we teach our kids to respectfully disagree with someone, right? If they want to keep their opinion or keep their thoughts or belief systems intact because they believe it's right. But how could, and you I'm hearing you, friend, but I respectfully disagree. Like, what can we do there as parents?
I think that line in itself is "I'm hearing you, friend," something like that, or I respect that you have that opinion. And then it's more about it comes back to it's a question instead of a statement on the back of it. Hey, I hear
Mm,
you, and or I hear you, but completely different directions for that sentence, right? So if you say I hear you and then ask a question on the back of it, it's like cut through the lens of curiosity. You open up the idea of a conversation. If I go, oh, I hear you, but it's not that way, then it kills it stops the conversation, or it puts up the wall. And then normally the ego will kick in, the pride. No, it's got to be my way, because if it's not my way, then I'm wrong. And then if you go even deeper on that, potentially what they're really saying is, if it's not my way, then it's outside of my comfort zone, and
yeah,
I don't know what that looks like. And I just want a comfort zone. I just want to go back. I want to know what's happening, or I want to know where I'm at, like in my life right now. So if
yeah.
I have someone try and impart a different opinion on me that I strongly disagree with, and I'm not willing to look at it from another lens, as the idea of maybe there is something else in the world as such, then my safety, my security, my home is in danger, and I'll stand and fight for that.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Comfort zone is big, right? It's the path of least resistance. It's, you
Yeah,
know, we will always choose the path of least resistance. Yeah. So and you know what? It's just easier to believe my line of thinking instead of just be curious about yours.
yeah. Well, at the end of the day, like your line of thinking is your belief system, right? And
Mm,
you've got to fight to hold on to what you believe, or you've got to fight to change your beliefs. But you're having a
mm,
fight either way.
yeah.
So choose your fight. And if you want to fight to hold on to what you believe and stay in the life that you have, live the comfort zone, live out life the way that it is right now, that's awesome. I'm not saying that's wrong. But if you're stuck in a life that you're not happy with, then you're currently fighting for the beliefs that are keeping you stuck.
Mm,
But we've got to put time, focus, and energy into, well, what are the beliefs that are keeping me stuck? How can I let go of them and adopt new beliefs and fight for those new beliefs?
yeah.
But that all starts through curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Curiosity, curiosity, curiosity. Oh, mate, love that. Love that. We're gonna just like change tack for a bit, right? Because we talked about internally, our kids there, we want them to be able to grow up in a space where they can feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and their opinions, but also, um, making sure that they respect other people's opinions as well. And, uh, online, since Charlie Kirk's death, there has been like there has been a flooding of people who have posted like mocking videos, celebrating his death, saying he deserved it, all this kind of stuff, right? Um, and I guess perhaps they've forgotten the humanity side that there's a man who's dead now, a husband, a son, a father. Um, Mate, from as an expert in this area, Shane, of human behavior, like what would compel someone to kind of like put this type of content out there so we can understand?
Yeah. And my opinion only is because they're looking for clickbait. Most of those people that have done those kind of posts are just looking for clickbait. They just want to get the likes, the loves, the comments, so that their engagement goes up on their profile. So,
Mm,
and it's easy to twist some sort of story, no matter what the story, into something that becomes more controversial. So then they get more people arguing in the chat. What they're really looking, potentially, again, my opinion only, what they're looking for is for two people just to argue like crazy in the chat. So they comment, 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 comment. Next thing, they've got 10,000 comments. Like, oh
yeah.
yeah, that post went crazy. I guess what you could say is potentially leaving aside some morals around respecting the death of someone and all that kind of stuff as
Mm,
well, and leveraging the exposure of the death of someone for their own primary benefit of more exposure, which all leads to, for a lot of those people as influencers, more money.
Yeah, yeah. You know, comes like, and as you shared all that, mate, like the only thing that pops in my mind is like attention, right?
Yeah,
Attention. They're seeking that external attention, for whatever reason. I don't know what those reasons are, but they're just seeking that attention. And then as time has progressed, you know, it's been a couple of days now. After that initial kind of like flooding of content of people, you know, mocking or celebrating his death, that kind of stuff. On the flip side of that, now coming out the other side, those same people, you know, a lot of them are posting that they've lost their jobs, right? They've been fired, they've been sacked, um, that it's not fair that this has happened, right? Um, I guess what this is leading to, Shane, is perhaps we've forgotten that actions have consequences. You know,
100%.
is that something you've seen? You know, working with the clientele base, or you know, just even in society.
Yeah, I mean, it's the instant gratification thing is, oh, if I post a controversial post here, I'm going to get lots of likes.
Mm,
So not thinking of the bigger picture is really what it comes down to, and thinking, oh, this is a quick way to make a buck. And then, yeah, not thinking about those consequences long term and getting that instant gratification that they're seeking, which unfortunately has come around to bite them in the butt. But it's because it's, if you think about it, like we're in a world where everybody wants everything now,
yeah,
not willing to be patient, not willing to play the long game. So, oh, this is a quick way to get 10,000 likes on a post. Oh, okay. Oh, that one got one. Well, I was going to make another one very similar. I'll get another 10,000 likes. And next thing I got 10 posts up that are all controversial. And then the person I'm working for sees it and then fires me because it's in breach of my contract. And now I'm out on the street.
yeah. It's mate, it's so true, right? Like, um, and maybe it's also so like social times are different, right? Like, you know, you and I, perhaps we in a time where if we did something wrong, we got that instant consequence, right? Hey, if I push my sister down the stairs, I'm getting smacked, right?
Yeah.
I know that a bad action has like a bad consequence, right? Or punishment or whatever you want to call it, right? Or that in schools, like I remember in school, like if I had said like a bad word, then I'm going outside, you
Yeah.
know? And that kind of stuff is not as relevant or not as happening as much these days. You know, is that something you're noticing as well as a parent in the 2020s?
Yeah, it's more common now. And I'm not saying we're angels. Like I
Yeah,
got, what I've shared before, I got done drink driving in New Zealand, right? When I was 17, waiting to join the army. And it was because I made a dumb decision without thinking it through.
yeah,
Right. So we've all done it before. I think it's probably more common nowadays because, well, I mean, yeah, depending on situations, but especially in a situation like this, it's like, hey, cool, this is a great way for me to get more exposure on social media, not thinking through the consequences, not thinking through all the other stuff. So it is just I guess it's the late, you become so focused on, oh, I need to do this for me instead of what's the long term impact on everybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%, 100%. It. Uh, the only thing, like, I wrote it down. The thing that it just comes back to, hey, is just instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know? Instant gratification, and perhaps we've lost the art of delayed gratification.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, you said it earlier, the path of least resistance wins. So this is a real resistantless path because
mm,
I can do it now. I don't have to think about if I think about the consequences, it's going to take me time. If I do it now, it's done.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. And putting your boss hat on, Shane, right? Um, as a boss, you know, as an owner, you know, where do you sit on like terminating someone's employment with you for a social media that you might deem to be kind of like disgusting or inappropriate, um and even if it's like their own thing and has no mention of you or your company at all, but could still tarnish by association, like, yeah, where does that sit with you?
Yeah, I think it's definitely relevant to the role and the person and their representation of you as a company. For example, if I was running a farm and I had like 5 workers and one of them posted all that stuff, like it has zero impact on me and has zero impact on the farm. They're just a worker, right? And I don't say that in the
Yeah.
that word way. What's that word?
The derogatory.
Derogatively way. So even you can't say it. I don't mean that in a derogatory that. Oh my god,
Derogatory.
derogatory way towards the person, but it doesn't impact, right? So it doesn't impact. But if I had someone who was a representation of my brand, and that people were seeing that and going, oh, they work for Shane or they work for Quang or they work for whoever, then yeah, there'd need to be have a conversation. Again, going to be individual cases. If it was such a big thing, then you'd want to have something in your agreements and contracts around them being a representation or a persona of the brand, and making sure that that's covered. So again, different situations, but same thing. If you're a construction company and you were just one of 100 workers, they probably don't give a shit.
Yeah, most definitely, right? And some of the I guess firings or sackings that I've seen, on the social space, as a result of person posting, I guess, content around Charlie Kirk mocking his death and or celebrating his death, have been in the health space, like nurses and that kind of stuff, and educators, right?
Mm.
So I find that really interesting because one of the things that got drummed into me in my time as an educator is that um, always be conscious that even though you're not posting on our behalf directly, the Department of Education will still take notice of it, and that
Mm.
you always have to put a note down that your views are not necessarily the views of the Department of Education, right? Um,
Yeah,
and yet people are still doing this, and as a result, losing
yeah,
their jobs over it. And then they're posting, and then when they lose their job, they're posting content. Oh, I've lost my job. I can't believe this happened. Blah blah blah. Well, again, consequences,
yeah,
consequences. Um, may like if we could just kind of like wrap up, right, or sum up, like what are kind of like the things that because we want to it's it's really interesting, right? We want to leave the world in a better place for our kids, but then something like this happens, and it goes, is it really a better place? Yes, like for me, yes, it is. But what are some things that perhaps lessons or things that you're gonna do to ensure that Ezra can grow up, in a space like this, in the world like this, where we can you know, have open conversations and discussions in a respectful way.
yeah. Probably just that whole, and I think we've spoken about a lot, is like
Mm.
raise it with the word curiosity again, like raise them in a curiosity type mindset of other things are possible rather than it having to be my way, your way and stuff like that. Because we spoke about it, you just get stuck in one mindset, then you get stuck in one life.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my gun license.
Mine just lapsed back in New Zealand last year.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
2 years ago.
Oh, phew. Good thing it did because we always have fights.
Hey, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
That's a whole. Well, I think that might have even been the question, was it, when this all happened? Was it was a
Yeah, yeah,
conversation around gang wars or shootings and stuff? Anyway, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the
But
question is, does having a gun license make you any safer? Because how many people are murdered or abused or whatever, or go murdered with people out that don't even have a firearms license?
yeah, mate, and then again, that's another whole different conversation, right?
Mm.
Because, um, Australia got rid of all their guns. Got rid of all their guns when we had that mass shooting in when was it 1995, I think, Port Arthur, and yet
Yeah.
America are so adamant about keeping their gun rights and gun laws, and there's school shootings every second week, and You know, gun violence is always at a high rate. So there's no right or wrong answer. Maybe there is, but it's one of those topics that people are pro con either side, and they're adamant, right? It's
Mm,
why America will always have guns
yeah.
because
I
of
mean,
yeah.
just on that topic, I mean, very relevant in New Zealand and Australia at the moment. There were those two police officers in Victoria that were just shot recently,
Hmm.
and then even in New Zealand, there was a guy that was shot. Well, he shot a policeman. I don't know if he passed away or not, but then they shot him as well. So it's very like it's a big topic right now. And then we could go down that path of why are they carrying a firearm to protect themselves? What are they protecting themselves? Or I say protecting because I assume that's what both those situations were, from what I understand. But yeah, why do they feel they're in a position where they need to arm themselves to protect themselves? What are they protecting themselves from? Another
Yeah,
whole conversation.
definitely another whole conversation. And mate, this is probably a conversation where we probably need Eric as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, exactly. If only, if only.
Oh, Eric, get your jaw sorted, mate. So but mate, like it's in in a world today where we can get caught up, you know, between is there any meaning left in the world, and you know, just having an opinion can cost you everything. You know, can we still have a righteous conversation versus, you know, hate crime is, you know, like morals are getting thinner by the day, right? All of this starts in our homes, you know, all of this starts in, you know, teaching our kids to be able to have conversations or, you know, debates with integrity, right? And then for us as business owners, it also, you know, we also need to decide what values we're prepared to, you know, stand up for as well in our own business journeys. So uh deep conversation. Love to get your thoughts on it. And remember, guys, it's just because we disagree with someone, it doesn't mean we need to dehumanize them as well. You know, we, as Shane said, be curious, be open, and be respectful. And so, guys, on that note, Dad Boss signing out for another week. Oh, look at those guns.
Oh, mate, that's where it's at.